Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Keely and today marks week 6 of the Sirdar Easter CAL, which means it is the final week. It is actually Thursday, so I'm a day behind, but I actually just finished week 5 on Tuesday. Where I left off on my last video is I was able to complete one side of the chicks panel and was unable to get to the other. I did finish the mosaic panels on both sides. I just was unable to finish both chick panels, which is okay, that happens. But since I just very recently completed, I have not been able to weave in any ends yet. So I still have all of these ends to work on, so that's gonna be fun. But for week 6, we are doing the border, and the border involves making roughly 60 little flowers and then crocheting them as you go with the grass color along the border. So there's not very many rounds for the petals, but it just means more ends that I'm gonna have to weave in. It does look so pretty, so I will go through that pain of weaving in all these ends, and I know the outcome is gonna look spectacular. So I'm excited to get started for week 6. And what we start with is we start with 28, if I remember correctly, 28 lemon center colors. So what I think will be the best plan of attack to get through all these flowers is make all the centers and then do the panels and then do the grass. That way I'm just focusing on one color and I can kind of have an assembly line going, so I can do all the centers, all the panels, the grass, and then attach them to the blanket. Without further ado, let's get started on week 6. Good morning. So last night I was able to get 6 flowers done, 5 of which I've pretty much woven in all the ends except for the last one where I fastened off here. It's looking pretty good. This one, obviously, I have not woven in all the ends yet, but I have 6 out of 56 flowers done. I did finish all the centers, so I have the cornflower, the rest of the lemon, and the pink over here on my side table that I am still doing. Because I still have all the ends from week 5, I'm kind of making a flower, weaving those ends, and then weaving in the ends of a section on the main blanket itself. So with that process, I have woven in 7 of the chicks, and I still have these 5 left, at least for this part of the panel. I think this is the bottom side, yeah, or the top. Yeah, this is the top. Still quite a few ends, but we are making some slow progress, but steady. So I'm just going to continue at that rate, and hopefully once I finish at least the ends on the blanket, that making the flowers will go a lot quicker. Or maybe they'll finish at the same time, because like I said, I'm doing a section at a time. So I'll make another flower, weave those ends in, and then I'll weave in the ends for this chick right here, and then rinse and repeat. So let's get started on that. Four more little chicks. I have finished the first chicks panel, at least weaving in the ends. I still have quite a few. I have the whole other chicks panel to weave in ends, but since I already started weaving in the ends for the bunny rabbit ears, I just went over to this side since it would go slightly quicker. And then I'll just keep going around in a circle and weaving in these ends. But we went and ran a little errand, and so while we were doing that, I did bring along the flower petals with me to work on those. And then when I got back, I just continued working on them. And here they all are. This is my last one in this particular color. I'm going to finish this up. We're gonna walk the dogs, and then we're gonna watch some shows. And of course, I will still be working on them. I have changed my plan of attack. I already have a bunch of ends to weave in, so trying to tackle some of it as I go isn't really going to save me much time. I need to get these made. I've just stopped weaving in the ends for these flowers, and I'm still doing the assembly line method where I did all the centers. Now I'm doing all the petals. Once I finish this last one over here on the side, I will move on to the cornflower or the pink, one or the other. I'll do all those, and then I'll go back through and do all of the grass for the last round for these petals. And then at that point, all of these will be ready to start attaching to the blanket. Okay, just finished the last petal. This is how much flame I had left. I still have a full other skein that I did not use for this pattern, so that's really nice. This will go in the stash. For now, we're gonna take a break, walk the dogs, watch some shows, probably gonna go have some dinner, and I'll come back and keep working on these petals. So last night I was just crocheting along, and I did finish at least the petals on all of the flowers here. And I did start, as you can see, doing the last round in grass for these flowers. I did weave in ends kind of as I went for some of these, although some of these yellow ones I had already woven in the ends for them before I did the border, so I just picked those up. But like this pink one here, I did the grass border and then I wove in the ends. This is the last round that you need to do before you can start attaching them to the blanket and actually making the border. That is the focus for today. We're gonna try our hardest to at least get the border for all of these flowers done, and then maybe possibly start attaching to the blanket. Also, as an update for the blanket, I have finished weaving in the ends for week 5 on 2 of the sides. So I've done one chick panel and one bunny ear panel, and it is slow going. I'm definitely realizing that I much prefer weaving in ends for the chicks panel because it's a lot easier, whereas on a mosaic panel, which is what the bunny ears are, since you have the flaps from doing the mosaic technique, it's harder, in my opinion, to weave in the ends, so it's taking more time. There are fewer ends to weave in for those panels, but to me it just takes way longer just because I'm trying to make sure as I'm weaving them in that you can't see that pink poking out through the front of the mosaic design, and so it's very slow going to me. But I've got 2 sides done, I have 2 sides left, and then week 5 will technically finally be done. Even though I finished the crocheting part, I just didn't finish weaving in the ends part. So let's keep working on that, and hopefully we can get a lot of progress done today. Last 8 flowers, all right here, the Cupid ones. Good morning. Last night we finished all the flowers. I have a lot more over here that I wasn't able to pick up, but we finished all the flowers. I stopped weaving in the ends, as you can see. I just really wanted to get the flower petals done. I know I'm gonna regret not weaving in the ends, but I wanted to get the petals done and get ready to sew them onto the blanket. So the blanket at least can be done and constructed, and then the only thing left is the best part, weaving in the ends. I have them all ready, and I went ahead last night and did the first round of the border, which is just doing half double crochet all the way around, and I left my yarn attached. The pattern does say to cut it off. I'm gonna see if I can just leave it attached and start attaching the flowers as I go for the second round. That way it will give me one less end to weave in. But this morning, while I was kind of just chillaxing, getting ready, waking up a little bit, I did weave in some more ends. So I wove in the ends that were from the mosaic panels. You can see here, this is the last side of the mosaic ends that I need to do. And I did weave in 2 of the chicks. So I still have a lot more chicks and this other panel of the bunnies to weave in, but slowly but surely getting rid of some of these ends. Now I'm going to go in the other room, hang out, and try to tackle this border. Hopefully it won't take me too long. It's 12 o'clock now, and the goal is to at least finish while the sun is still up. We will see. That includes taking breaks, walking the dogs, you know, all that fun stuff. Once we get it finished, I will show you guys. Okay, I just finished one side. I've got all the flowers attached. So I was thinking I would be able to just keep the yarn attached and kind of go around and attach all the flowers, but that is not how it was designed. So I ended up having to cut the yarn from this first round, and now I've just attached each one of these. It's 2 o'clock now, so it took 2 hours to do one side, but to be fair, I'm also weaving in the ends of the flowers as I go, so it is taking longer, but we are getting there, making some progress. So just 3 more sides to go. Good evening. So as you might be able to tell by the lighting, I did not meet my goal of getting this blanket completed by sunset. We got very close. I have exactly 6 flowers left. I just have this little bit left on the top side, and then this would be done. Actually, that's not true. I still have the pom-poms that I need to make. As far as the border's concerned, all the flowers would be attached, and then I would just need to do one more round according to the pattern, and then it would be done. Also excluding all the 1,000,001 ends that I have to weave in for this. I was getting impatient, and so you can kind of see on this third round, I had been weaving them in and then attaching, weaving in, attaching, and then here you can see I just said forget that. This one I had already done. I did a lot of the flame ones already, but the others I just stopped doing that. Now I am going to finish attaching these. I'm going to do the border, and then I'm going to start weaving in some of these ends, and I will do the pom-poms later, probably sometime in the morning, and I will show y'all the finished product. Good afternoon. Today is Monday, the day that this video is supposed to go out. And as you can see, I'm a little late, but I did finish the blanket. As you saw with the blanket drop, I did at least finish the border, and I do have half of the bunny tails sewed on. I haven't made the other half, but I will get to it. This blanket, or the purpose of this CAL, is not to rush through it and to go at your own pace. I obviously wanted to have this video for you guys, but I did not finish in time. I think just I got super unmotivated because of how many flower petals you have to do for the border. And it was just taking a long time, and I didn't really want to work on it. So I lost motivation, but as soon as I was able to get to the 4th round of the petals, or of the flowers, and get to that point in the process, everything just started flowing, and I was able to get my motivation back and start working on this again. And I was able to at least finish the border. So this blanket is like 90% done. I still have a lot of ends to weave in, but it is done. And it is a rather large blanket. It's very comfy, it's very cute, it's very Easter. I love it so much. I did have to redo the border last night, actually. So when I was working on this, the pattern is you start with a cornflower, then you do the flame, the pink, and then another flame. Well, on the 2nd round, I messed up and I did a pink and a cornflower together at the bottom. And I could have left it as that, but I didn't want to. It just didn't feel right. In my mind, it would have bugged me a whole lot if I had just 2 flowers randomly mismatched. So I redid it all because I didn't realize till I was literally on the last side attaching the flowers. So I redid it all, and that is why this has taken me longer than I would have liked. Overall, it turned out really great. It's really pretty. This is where I'm going to end today's video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see y'all in the next one.